So I had a really interesting experience that I wanted to share with you. Um, I had asked ChatGPT a question, a very specific question, and I asked it to look through the lens of Dr. Russ Rosen. What would Dr. Russ Rosen say about this particular subject? And I was amazed and heartened to hear what ChatGPT, scouring all of the internet, an online presence, came up with what I would say. By the way, if you don't know me, I am Dr. Russ Rosen, and I help natural healthcare providers like you thrive in a care versus scare, true optimal health model. So we're having a meeting with the CCA, California Chiropractic Association, and they were going to be voting on some rules and definitions, and they were looking to possibly take the word subluxation out of our lexicon and to take it out of the paragraphs describing who we are, what we do, what chiropractic is, etc. And one of my buddies who's on the board asked me if I would show up to this particular meeting and lend some support. And of course, I was happy to do that. And before it, I was thinking about my buddy and hero, Pat Gentempo, and Dr. Christopher Kent, what they would say about it, because I've heard them talk about this before. I've had discussions with them about that, and they're so eloquent. And so, just for fun, I said, through the lens of Dr. Pat Gentempo, how would he respond to this? How would he respond to why it is so important to keep the word subluxation in our chiropractor's lexicon? And I was blown away by the answer. Different categories, very thoughtful, lots of quotes. I've studied a lot with him, and it was a perfect answer. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. So then I said, what about through the lens of Dr. Christopher Kent? Again, it compared and contrasted and said, Pat looks a little more like this. Dr. Christopher Kent, he looks a little bit more like this. Comes through here. He's a bit more of an analytical, like, yeah, he is, if you know, if you know Chris Kent at all. And then just for fun, I said, what about through the lens of BJ Palmer? And it was phenomenal. If you're interested, try it. Just see what happens. It was very, very cool. So I ran it by my wife. I was just telling her how cool I thought this was. And she said, well, you ought to ask what Dr. Russ Rosen would say through the lens of Dr. Russ Rosen. And I was sure I would put that in there and it would say, who? But it didn't. It didn't. It came back with a beautiful response, a couple of pages. And it came through my lens of the neuroscience of communications and how important it is to be able to meet them where they're at and to be able to connect the dots and communicate to them, but holding on to our values, blah, blah, blah. It was really great stuff. Honestly, better than I could have written myself. But it was certainly my language. There were lots of quotes from me and definitely things that I would have said that I never thought about. So it was absolutely brilliant. So after doing that, I thought, okay, oh yeah. And then I thought, okay, it said one thing that I kind of disagreed with of what I would say. And so I went in there and I said, hey, just so you know, I am Dr. Russ Rosen, and I wouldn't say that. I would say this. And it came back and said, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let me redo this. Then I went back in and asked, and it had changed. So I just found that really valuable. So then I thought, well, I guess I should finally do it. I've thought of doing this before, but I haven't done it yet. I went in and I said, what are the pros and cons of working with Dr. Russ Rosen? And again, I was blown away. And again, I've avoided doing this because I don't want to hear any of the negative stuff. It hurt my feelings, right? But it was really great stuff. And then I realized that people are doing this all the time. I do this all the time. Our patients, my coaching clients, are going into, Grok or any ChatGPT or whatever their favorite AI is, and they're asking, what are the pros and cons? What are the good things people are saying? What are the negative things people are saying? And I went in and did that for myself, and it was very powerful. It was a really, really powerful thing to do. So, I would ask you to do the same. I think it's a really good idea. I asked ChatGPT what questions would be good questions, and then what do you do about it? And it came back and it said, so in essence, you're asking your doctors to audit their AI digital reputation. I was like, wow, yeah, that's really cool. That's exactly what we're doing. Now, remember, it's not making anything up. It's simply scouring the internet. It's checking out everything that is said about you and everything you've said online, and then it summarizes that through your lens. So I think it's really great to find out what people on the internet might know about you, what they might think about you, and if they did ask very particular questions, what would come up and then what you could do about it. So I asked, along with asking what are the pros and cons, what other things would you suggest? And it said, here's a bunch of questions about their practice and their reputation. Here's a bunch of questions about their communication and services, about their public perception and online presence, and their personal and professional growth. I think they're really valuable to look at, and you might want to try doing it. Then I said, if there are negative things, how do you handle it? And it came up with all kinds of really good ideas of what you could do about it if there was anything negative. So I think that that's a good idea. I think it's probably a good idea to set an autoresponder and maybe every 3 to 6 months go ahead and check and just see, are there some things out there that you don't like that you want to fix? Are you not happy with what the answers are? If so, you can obviously go on and start, posting all kinds of different things on your website and social media, etc., with the answers so that when it does look you up, it will be giving the answers to these people that you really wish they were hearing. So again, it was just an experience I had. I thought it was a really cool thing, and I hope you found value. If so, please share this with others. And as always, much love and aloha. Bye, gang.